Earth has worn many faces before ours. Once, no forest whispered anywhere on land. The young moon moaned larger overhead. Volcanoes stitched red light across a black horizon. Seas breathed iron beneath a dimmer sun. Life began small enough to escape notice. Then it changed the air itself. Shells, forests, reptiles, giants, and mammals followed. Entire worlds vanished without leaving the planet. Yet every lost world still shapes ours. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth formed. Collisions heated rock into a glowing ocean. Nothing green existed yet. Bare stone, ash, and vapor ruled everything. A Mars-sized impact likely helped create the moon. Its pull soon steadied Earth's wobble. Meteorites still fell often. The surface kept being broken and remade. Steam thickened above the planet. As Earth cooled, rain finally fell. It may have rained for ages. Water gathered into the first oceans. Those early seas were strange. Dissolved iron turned them dark and chemically different. The sun then shone fainter than now. Greenhouse gases probably kept the planet warm. Somewhere in those waters, chemistry crossed a threshold. Non-living molecules began copying themselves. Scientists debate the exact setting. Tide pools, vents, and porous rocks remain contenders. Whatever the cradle, life stayed microscopic. For billions of years, microbes dominated Earth. They left few dramatic bones. They built patient worlds instead. Mats of bacteria spread across shallow flats. Layer by layer, they raised stromatolite towers. In Western Australia and elsewhere, ancient rocks preserve them. Their shapes still echo living microbial mats. Sunlight now met biology. Cyanobacteria learned to split water and release oxygen. At first, that oxygen vanished into the sea. Iron grabbed it and rusted. Band after band, the seafloor recorded this change. Red minerals stacked like planetary bookkeeping. Eventually, the sink spilled. Oxygen began leaking into the atmosphere. For many microbes, this was catastrophe. For others, it opened astonishing new possibilities. Oxygen allowed richer chemistry. Cells could harvest far more energy from food. The sky slowly changed color. A protective ozone layer later formed overhead. That shield mattered enormously. It blocked much of the sun's harsh ultraviolet radiation. Tides and volcanoes kept reshaping shorelines. Evolution worked on a restless planetary stage. Sexual reproduction was also emerging. It shuffled genes and accelerated adaptation. Yet Earth never changed gently for long. Ice sometimes reached astonishing latitudes. During severe glaciations, frozen oceans may have stretched near the equator. Scientists still debate just how complete. If Earth became a near snowball, volcanoes helped rescue it. Carbon dioxide built up and warming returned. After the ice, nutrients likely flooded the seas. Life answered with innovation. Complex cells had already appeared. Inside them, tiny former microbes became mitochondria. Some lineages also captured sunlight with borrowed partners. Those partners became chloroplasts in algae and plants. Multicellular bodies grew bolder. Soft organisms spread across late Precambrian seafloors. Many looked unlike anything alive today. Their place on the tree remains debated. Then, around 541 million years ago, the pace quickened. Skeletons and shells became common. The Cambrian seas were crowded experiments. Eyes, jaws, claws, and burrows transformed ecosystems. Predation changed the rules. Hiding, hard armor, and speed suddenly mattered. Trilobites marched over muddy bottoms. Anomalocaris cruised above like an alien hunter. Yet even these seas were familiar in one way. Food webs had become recognizably modern. Reefs rose from sponge-like builders and early corals. Currents carried plankton to sunlit water. Fish began as jawless swimmers. Later, forms gained jaws and stronger fins. Jaws were revolutionary. They opened new ways to feed, defend, and dominate. Ordovician seas teemed with filter feeders. Straight-shelled nautiloids cruised above them. Jawless fish diversified in schools. Armor protected many from rising predators. Plants first spread with spores. Fungi likely helped their early roots. During the Devonian, fish radiated spectacularly. Some lineages also built the first forests. Plants still had not conquered the continents. Rock lay mostly bare beyond shorelines. Then simple green pioneers edged onto damp ground. Tiny stems changed entire landscapes. Moss-like forms hugged wet surfaces first. Later, vascular plants lifted themselves higher. Roots broke stone apart. Soils began forming more deeply across continents. Once plants spread, carbon cycles shifted. The atmosphere and climate responded. Arthropods followed the greenery inland. Millipede relatives and early arachnids explored leaf litter. Giant dragonfly-like insects would come later. Oxygen-rich air helped support outsized bodies. Fish with fleshy fins probed shallows. Some could prop themselves in weedy water. Over immense spans, fins became limbs. Vertebrates stepped onto land. They did not leave water at once. Growing tetrapods still depended on swamps and streams. Forests thickened during the Carboniferous. Vast wetlands stretched beneath the humid sky. Club mosses and horsetails towered above dark channels. Dead plant matter accumulated faster than it decayed. Much of that buried carbon became coal. Ancient sunlight was stored underground. Fallen trunks dammed blackwater channels. Swamp mosaics created countless microhabitats. Fungi struggled with woody tissues then. Carbon piled up in peaty wetlands. Fire also shaped those forests. Oxygen-rich air made burning easier. Insects buzzed through cathedral-like vegetation. Amphibians thrived where water remained abundant. Then eggs changed the story again. Amniotes could reproduce away from open water. That freedom favored true terrestrial expansion. Reptile lineages began diversifying across drier ground. Continents were also on the move. Plate tectonics kept rearranging coastlines and climates. By the Permian, most land had merged. Pangaea created enormous interior deserts. Hot coasts contrasted with dry interiors. Life clustered where rivers and seasonal rains returned. Seed-bearing plants handled drought better. Their pollen no longer relied on open water. Seasons became harsher inland. Many wetlands retreated or vanished. Synapsids, distant relatives of mammals, spread widely. Some looked reptilian, but were not reptiles. Dimetrodon is famous, though older than dinosaurs. Its sail still slices through popular imagination. Later, Permian predators and herbivores grew stranger. Ecosystems became both diverse and fragile. Then came the greatest known extinction. Most marine species disappeared, and many land lineages followed. Massive volcanism in Siberia is a leading suspect. Warming, acidification, and oxygen loss likely compounded the crisis. Reefs nearly vanished after the Permian crisis. Food webs had to rebuild from fragments. Even insects suffered unusual losses. Few extinctions struck so many groups. Would you survive this recovering Earth for 1 week? Tell me below. Or would another age suit you better? Stay close. Dinosaurs are rising. Earth did not simply bounce back. Recovery took millions of years. The Triassic opened with emptied niches. Survivors entered a hard, unstable world. Early dinosaurs began as minor players. They shared landscapes with crocodile-lined archosaurs. The climate was often hot and strongly seasonal. River valleys became precious corridors of life. Some reptiles took to the air. Pterosaurs mastered powered flight long before birds. Others returned to the sea. Ichthyosaurs and later plesiosaurs ruled offshore realms. Dinosaurs gradually diversified. Upright limbs gave them efficient movement. When another extinction struck near the Triasic's end, dinosaurs gained their great opening. Competitors fell away. Small feathered hunters darted through undergrowth. Insulation and display likely came before flight. Footprints record long crossings over floodplains. Some bone beds hint at herd behavior. Sea levels sometimes rose dramatically. Inland seas split continents and isolated faunas. The Jurassic then spread greener worlds. Warm climates supported vast conifer forests. Sauropods browsed high and low. Their necks turned whole canopies into feeding grounds. Some were longer than a city bus, yet even giants needed constant food. Predators shadowed the herds. Balance, eyesight, and teeth made them formidable. Still, dinosaur dominance was never simple. Small mammals already lived in the undergrowth. They stayed mostly nocturnal, scientists suspect. Darkness offered safety from larger hunters. Feathered theropods also evolved. Some branches were heading toward birds. Archaeopteryx captured that transition beautifully. It carried feathers, claws, and a dinosaurian tail. Continents continued splitting apart. New coastlines, seas, and weather patterns emerged. By the Cretaceous, flowering plants appeared. Their rise quietly rewired ecosystems. Blossoms invited new partnerships. Insects diversified with pollen, nectar, and color. Forest floors changed too. Seeds, fruits, and faster plant turnover fed fresh food webs. Herbivorous dinosaurs adapted in many directions. Beaks, dental batteries, and horns all flourished. Hadrosaurs processed tough plants efficiently. Ceratopsians turned skulls into living architecture. Tyrannosaurs came later in the north. Their senses were as impressive as their size. Yet the Cretaceous was not only giants. Tiny birds flashed through branches above them. Marine reptiles still haunted the seas. Mosasaurs patrolled waters once ruled by other forms. Near the end, some dinosaurs nested carefully. Fossils preserve eggs, brooding postures, and hatchling colonies. Then, 66 million years ago, the sky changed. An asteroid struck what is now Yucatan. The impact was sudden. The aftermath unfolded through fire, darkness, and collapsing food chains. Not every creature died immediately, but ecosystems from plankton upward were badly shaken. Non-avian dinosaurs vanished. Birds, their living descendants, endured. Crocodilians survived. So did turtles, frogs, many fish, and small mammals. Survival often favored flexibility. Burrowing, dormancy, varied diets, and aquatic refuges all helped. With the giants gone, mammals expanded into open roles. Evolution began another grand experiment. Some became swift runners, others returned to water or took to the air. Forests regrew in transformed climates. Flowering plants and grasses would later spread further. Grasses changed landscapes profoundly. Their success helped shape open plains and grazing communities. Hoofed mammals multiplied across those plains. Predators evolved speed and endurance to follow. In the oceans, whales descended from land mammals. Their ancestry still shows in ancient ankle bones. Tectonic uplift kept steering climate. Rising mountains altered winds, rain, and erosion. Antarctica drifted south and froze. Ocean circulation changed around the poles. The planet cooled unevenly through the Cenozoic. Ice sheets eventually waxed and waned in cycles. Those ice ages sculpted familiar ground. Glaciers carved valleys, moved boulders, and lowered seas. Primates spread through warm forests. Grasping hands suited branch life. Later cooling fragmented those forests. Open habitats favored new experiments in walking. Australopiths mixed upright walking with climbing. Evolution rarely changes everything at once. Homo carried tools, fire, and stories farther. Culture began reshaping survival itself. Grasslands expanded where forest retreated. Mammoths, bison, horses, and big cats thrived. Human ancestors emerged only very late. They walked Africa long after dinosaurs disappeared. Stone tools were yesterday by geological standards. Agriculture arrived only moments ago. If Earth were a single day, our civilizations appear near midnight. Everything before them still surrounds us. Mountains, oxygen, coal, chalk, and limestone carry ancient stories. Every road cut is a torn page. Birds still rehearse dinosaur motions. Ferns still uncurl like old memories. Coral reefs build with ancient logic. Continents still drift millimeter by millimeter. Extinction has never been only past tense. Change remains Earth's oldest habit. And maybe the strangest lesson, the world is stable only in snapshots. Beneath every familiar horizon lies another vanished Earth. We live on accumulated worlds. Which age would you visit for 1 hour? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe and ring the bell for more lost worlds. We still have countless ages to cross. We are newcomers reading a planet written in deep time. The pages are still turning,